Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? So I have more bad news to report for the fans that don't want to see Davis versus Haney. Ever since Devin Haney beat Regis Prograis, I got fans sending me tweets and clips left and right of fans constantly deflecting, talking about things that Gervonta himself is not even talking about. People are debating on what weight class the fight should be at. It should be a rehydration clause. I even seen a clip of somebody debating Bill Haney, telling him why Devin Haney should fight Tank Davis at a catchweight. But these debates make no sense because Gervonta hasn't even agreed to fight Devin Haney yet. He hasn't even started negotiations yet. He hasn't demanded any of these things. He hasn't demanded a catchweight. He hasn't demanded what weight class the fight should be at. These are fans that are saying these things because these fans in particular, they don't want to see this fight. They're hoping it doesn't happen. In fact, just like I said in my very last video, I've even seen many clips and tweets, screenshots of fans on Twitter strongly encouraging Gervonta to not fight against Devin Haney, saying things like, "Champ, he's too big for you. He's on steroids. He's going to try to overprice himself," etc., etc., etc. And I'm not making up any of this. You see, when it comes to this whole debate on what weight class the fight should be at, the rehydration clauses, the reason why you're supposed to wait to hear what the guy you're defending is going to say on this is because you never know. He may come out and completely contradict everything you've been saying to defend him in the first place, which is exactly what it sounds like Gervonta and his trainer is doing. Richardson Hitchins, who's a good friend of Gervonta Tank Davis's, he just did an interview on Miller City Boxing, and this is what he said.
Do you think he'll go to 140 to make the fight happen, or catch weight?
He said it 100 times. He said it to me 100 times. He'll fight Devin Haney, no rehydration clause. And that's what he said to me. Like, now, Kevin is vocal about it. Tank is realizing like this fight, it has to be at 140 if I want to. I feel like Tank is a fighter. He'll have, if he is who I believe he is, he's gonna go to 140. He's gonna get the job done.
We already ready to go to 40, bro. We already ready to go to 40, bro.
Okay, so that was an app that did the subtitles, so excuse the typos. But you guys clearly heard Hitchins. He said that Gervonta Tank Davis realizes that the fight has to be at 140. Then he says, if Gervonta is who I believe he is, he's going to go to 140 and fight Devin Haney. Now, also remember, when Hitchins was asked if Gervonta will move up to 140, Hitchins' response was, Gervonta has told me 100 times he'll fight Devin Haney with no rehydration clause. So once again, the excuses some of these fans are making for Davis is not even making himself. See, there's a lot of things I think you guys haven't thought about, and Calvin Ford, he kind of touched on this. Once again, I made a video on this. It was my very last video. When Calvin Ford was asked, does a Gervonta Devin Haney fight have to happen at 135? Instead of Calvin just saying yes, he said it depends on how Gervonta looks in training camp. He says, I want to see where he rehydrates. He's been out of the ring for a long time, which is something I don't think a lot of you guys have thought about. Gervonta Davis, he hasn't made weight at 135 pounds in almost a year. It will be at least a year by the time he fights. He's going to fight in either March or April. It's also important to note that Gervonta Tank Davis has actually missed weight before at 135. He missed weight when he fought against Gamboa. Now, what would fans say if Devin Haney would have ever missed weight at 135 or 140? What would they have said? Well, guys, Devin has never missed weight at 135. So the fact that Gervonta has missed weight and he's been out of the ring for so long, this is what Calvin Ford is talking about when he says, we have to see where he's going to be at when he rehydrates. The plan was always for Gervonta to move up to 140 eventually. That's why he tested the waters when he fought against Mario Barrios at 140. So at the end of the day, the reason why some of these fans have been aggressively pushing for a catchweight, a rehydration clause, saying the fight has to be at 135, because they were hoping they could get Gervonta to demand these things, which would make it harder for the fight to happen. But Gervonta is most likely going to listen to other boxers like Richard Hitchins, if he were to listen to anyone. I'm sure Gervonta, he already knows what he wants to do. Once again, according to Hitchins, this is something that Gervonta had already said to him. He had already said, I'll fight him at 140, and I'll fight him with no rehydration clause. Now, guys, listen, I could understand if Gervonta had to move up in weight to fight like a David Benavidez, someone who is huge at the weight class and has a lot of power. That's a different situation. Although I believe because styles make fights, if it was David Benavidez fighting at 140, I believe Gervonta would definitely fight David Benavidez before he would fight Devin Haney. despite David having much more power than Devin Haney, because the difference is David Benavidez is far more easier to hit. He's flat-footed. Now, when it comes to Devin and the power angle, Devin Haney has never been known for his power, but Gervonta is definitely known for his power. And while Devin Haney, he clearly showed that he's not feather-fisted and he has some power, he still doesn't have the power that Gervonta Tank Davis has, even if they both fight at 140. You know, for the fans that are terrified that Tank is going to lose this fight, first of all, this is still a 50-50 fight no matter who you favor to win the fight. But me, I don't care who wins the fight, if it's Gervonta or if it's Devin Haney. As a boxing fan, I just want to know who the best is. Listen, 2-3 years ago, it didn't make sense for them to fight against each other. It made more sense for them to fight against all the other non-black boxers that all the race fans would actually root for. You know, fighters like Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, and the list goes on and on. But now all those fighters have an L on their record. Or at least when it comes to Lomachenko, he has another L on his record by Devin Haney. So now pretty much the last three standing is Gervonta, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson. The situation is very analogous to the whole Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence situation. I always said it made no sense for them to fight against each other like 3 or 4 years ago. I said let them beat everyone else, and when they are the last two standing, that's when they should face off. And that's exactly how it played out. So when it comes to Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis, just like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was, they're both on a coincidental list and they get treated the exact same way by non-black American fans. So it's a victory no matter who wins. And the loser can still come back and he can still dominate and beat everyone else and be number 2, number 3 on a pound for pound list. So their career is not going to be over. Just like Tommy Hearns' career wasn't over with when he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard. Just like Manny Pacquiao's career wasn't over when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. In fact, after Bernard Hopkins lost to Roy Jones Jr., years later, Bernard Hopkins would become pound for pound number 1, the best fighter in the world. Just food for thought. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODkey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.